So I wanted to talk about something about the higher vibrational frequency, and it's just as simple as understanding the the right way and then the wrong way, or more like it's more like the fake version and then the real version. We can go on all day about this with words pointing at what are we talking about when we talk about the higher vibrational frequency. Well, love is the highest vibrational frequency, but what is that? It's it's the only reality, right? It's like, well, it's always been here. The thing to do different is to ignore it, and cause all kinds of disease and stuff. Yay, hey, welcome to the world over there. We did it. We did it. Maybe, maybe. We are now looking at peeking into miraculous events, which when it's just the truth that happens, kind of gotten away from all of the disease. And then, anyway, main thing I wanted to mention, like, okay, they say that some things are, well, that's a lower vibrational frequency thing, and it's like, well, no, maybe there's just a better version of that you're talking about, and that's the better version. It's not that it's that everything is like some things are just out of the question, like sex. They say, oh, that's a lower vibrational frequency. It's like, yeah, I understand what you mean. The feeling of being enlightened. And the real feeling of being enlightened, an enlightened being doesn't need sex. Technically, enlightenment means that now you're having a love affair with all of existence. This moment now, it's like, you know that there isn't a single thing happening that is separate from you here. You see, sex is a tool, a higher learning tool. It's vital here. To me, I would say, and I'm going to get my language down if I can. See, now is the time. See, with Mercury conjuncting my Uranus, Mercury conjunction, I mean, it's trining. Mercury in Gemini is now trining, and it's hitting right away. And it's like I'm 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 getting downloads. I'm channeling. I have spinach in my teeth. I did actually get down to earth and feed myself a little bit. While now it's just now I realize nobody needs food. Nobody like I'm totally in this place of channeling, of getting downloads. I've gotten downloads today about some things that are orientating itself in accordance to what I'm already learning, and I don't know how long it's going to take before I can present it and articulate it. There's passages we're going through. You notice, like during these times, if your vibrational frequency is starting to raise, and I'm warning people that if you're doing things like, okay, you're in trouble now if you want to do these things like get right in the way and do right relationship, and so that does include, like, say you're going to fast, and then when you eat only the most purest things. I would suggest herbs mainly. Find cilantro, turmeric, because now you're going to start opening your third eye, and the yoga. But now we don't tell you, it's not all about this hocus pocus, like, oh, now you're feeling good, right? No. Watch what happens. Okay, so I'll warn you, this is not appreciated in the other dimensions, that you start getting to know what's really going on here with your real existential reality, like what you're really supposed to learn. It could scare the hell out of you unless you're used to something. Now, if you really want to open up into this, you're going to have to know what love really is, and surrendering, and really always just surrendering to what a feeling. And you can never have too intense of a feeling. I don't care how many tears are falling out and shedding and just flying onto the floor. And that now you're at the edge of the bed praying to God to please let you be able to do something. If it's just sleep, know that you're going through something that is necessary for you to begin to break down into your initiation. And now I am talking to some people just saying, and they're probably saying, no, what the hell? Well, this is the way it's like when I think you're chosen. And it's different for everybody, but there is a basics, and it could be heard. If you've been through it, then you know what I'm saying. Because it's not the same for everybody, but it is. If you have a spine, where the Kundalini is at, it wants to rise. Now you're going to feel when you're having a spiritual awakening or calling to, what is it, babe? It's just the basics. It's just to become an instrument of God's will, and you are so important to everybody around you. I mean, you know that you just have a sense of it, babes. And it's going to take you through. Really, you don't have a choice. But the main thing is now you get to a point where now can you just take radical self-care of yourself? Take radical self-care, reduce it down, get it. I hate to say it, but you're going to be getting rid of the world as much as possible. You have to go through it, right, in order to get rid of it, really, and you have to have a lot of love for it in order to get rid of it, kind of a thing. You have to see and then to unsee it, I guess, and because you can't unsee it once you see it. I didn't make sense, did it? You're going to have to handle some contradictions from hell, because there is a place where none of that counts, none of it counts, none of it counts, and then all of a sudden it crosses over, boom, now it counts. Yes, it's all counting, and it was all the same. It was all the same. And so it's like the mind was down here, but then now we're getting to the higher mind. And now we have that beautiful figure 8 thing going on. And it's really the snake that comes back around and eats itself. You've seen that symbol. And so be careful is all I have to say. Whoever's getting on the path, and see, you might get discouraged by the experiences that you'll have. It is, we can talk for like 3 hours, and there's many books written on it, but you're going to be clearing ancestral karma. You're going to be downloaded with Akasha. You're going to become some kind of channeler, because you're not your physical body. So whatever's in you, just like with me here, whatever it is that animates my body is something that is non-physical. And now you're getting into that part of life. Now, I happen to think it happens naturally. You can't force this on. It's like, okay, so but see, it's important to stay away from the hijacking system. And it could, and what we're experiencing, I'll tell you, as chosen, 144 strands of DNA lit up and activating. Just by chance. It's like one person doesn't get it because they have too much something. And I'm not saying I'm totally free of not having been shot up here, as far as whatever they're doing for vaccines in the beginning of our lives, the dentistry, the amalgam fucking crap we have in us, we are barely hanging on to our real lives, saying, what I mean is the life that Christ wanted you to know, that your I is to be fully realized. You are to realize the life that is. It's so different than what everybody else is doing out there. And so having said that, you are like chosen privilege somehow to have just fallen through the cracks. Now, if you're feeling alone and all isolated and blah, 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 you're falling through the cracks. Let it happen. Just understand, like you need to receive information from not just people like me, but there are books written already. It's hard to tell you, but see, all they are is just canoes, like the tools, like I said, going through the roughy patch, and you need a vessel, and you see it, and you utilize it. You get into it, and you go across it, and you're reading material who have gone through the process, which is just the process of life. It's not the cradle to the grave thing that they talk about, right? They always say you're not supposed to be hitting the clock and doing the 9 to 5 and blah 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 blah. A lot of people see, they talk about it, Baba Rob Donis, and even my grandmother. It's called tune in, turn on, and drop out. And it's talked about that, a lot of people have that opportunity and they don't take it. They see it, they get really close, and it's time to go completely insane, and they don't. Really, they go back to insanity. They don't want to go mad or whatever you call it, but really that's what it looks like to society, and it's sad. In the West, see, I'm one that is fully enlightened, and it came to be where it's now. I know that if I see, what I have to do is I have to once your eye is open, you have to start writing or communicating. And this causes resonance because it's where you are on this plane in connection organically. Organically, yes, we're talking about this electrical system we're fucking hooked into. You are not a body, you're a light being. And as far as your food and stuff and like stuff like that, you are eating light. And it's not foods that nourishes us. As far as what the density that what you think, and no, not really. Because you are not made of that. You are made of light. So there is such a thing as, and it's way over there in India where people are getting way away from the field that is saying, no, this is the way it is, making you believe that you need all of this stuff packed into you just to function, food included, and even water. Doesn't that sound weird? But no, it's called prana. Prana energy, prana yoga is just a life that lives on not the illusion. You see, your mind is the illusion, and that takes a lot of energy to uphold it. It does. It does. You know, here in the West, we are doing a lot of that. I need food only because I burn. I'm an ectomorph. See, there's 3 body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, and omnimorph. And the word morph means that it can change, I think, yes. And ecta, mesa, and omna means something. I think it describes just a shape. Ecta might mean, I imagine, just off the top of my head, it's more ethereal. It's very light. It's skinny, yes. They are burning energy but through their brains. It's a body type. Gemini or the Aquarius or um, not so much Libra, but let's look at Sagittarius, yes. It would be hard. It's hard. See, the way it's all about the way you're burning energy. See, I'm burning energy through my intellect. I can sit and think, and it's like now I can pound all this food that a football player needs to operate, but I don't get fat. See, I have a fat brain. But anyway, as far as how we store energy, see, the mesomorph is storing it in their muscles. See, the morph, see, I can be a mesomorph also. Anybody can be an omnimorph, right? If they really imbalance their body and then turn it into a omne, uh, uh, a big person whose energy is not stored in their muscles or their brains, it's stored in their fat. But it's coming with a certain intellect. I think it's coming with a certain vibrational frequency of communication also. You can really look at this. You see the mesomorphs are more bodily oriented, and they're not going to be talking as much, not really. They're just like, whatever with all that conversation. Then they go out and they start doing something, with their physical body. And ectomorph is like, well, I guess I can get into my physical body. I have to balance it out, and I love it. Don't we love that? And um, omnimorphs are we could say that they have insulation on enough. It's insulating itself. It's when they say when you press an emotion down instead of let it out, it goes into the body, especially trauma or pain, emotional pain, or even like a physical abuse, or just something that you can't express, and just work it out and write about it or talk about it. If you haven't noticed, social media over the past 25 years has been providing us with cabinets that we can just store in every bit of, like, a lot of women are just using it for journaling, and it's like amazing because a lot of men are reading it, but they're not liking it. I don't know, who knows what's going on, really, right? But yeah, it's good to expose anything and everything to everybody, because the way that you stop growth and evolution is that you take all that information away. And now they're like stuck in the 50s or something. You can see it out there too. And it has to do with the kind of programming, right? Oh, God, this conversation, thanks for listening to me. I was starting out with watch out. It's bad enough that, see, people are getting on social media and they're receiving information that is way above their caliber of even being able to process. But the narcissists, they want to just start putting memes up. They want to do the latest thing that's getting attention. And the latest thing to get attention was to become maybe a theory, a theory conspiracist, a theory conspiracist. And there's a conspiracy that there's theories out there. And so then, um, when you start unraveling and the possibility of something, see, without an experience first, and then you find it and say, oh, there it is, and then you're sure about it. And you can even type 5 paragraphs on it, and then there's just one Mimi, rather than the other way around. Your fucking mind, you are going to sleep on stuff that is going to disturb your ass. You are going to, oh, you better watch out, baby. You are not prepared. You have to turn yourself into an aperture that receives in a certain way, and then dispels in a certain way, and I would beg to differ. That I would beg to tell you that you're looking for a whole different way of being now, and it will change you, and again, I'll warn you that there isn't a single occupation here that claims to be public help or anything, or say the politics, or there is so much going against you that you're going to notice it, even interdimensionally. You're going to be questioned by the good ones and the bad ones. The good angels are going to come and help you out, and then the bad ones are going to try and stomp you out. You're going to have to start noticing. The main thing I'm going to let you know is that to go inside of yourself and figure, wait a minute, now this is just a, a, this is just an experience. Am I okay? Assess, did it hurt me? Do I not have energy? Do I have energy? If you hit a truth and you're being initiated, you are going to get energy that it just keeps confirming. It, and my experience, I wish I will be able to tell you I should do at least 6 audiobooks. And thank you for letting me know how that I can put it on private video, that it would cost $10 for somebody to come in and watch me doing it completely naked. I'll just tell them, and not more. That one would be a $600 one. I don't know. I'll have to paint the belly button in. Clones don't have belly buttons.